Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. So I mentioned yesterday about not needing expensive gear to shoot, regardless of what your subject is, whether it's sports photography, which is kind of what I'm more talking about in this series. Is obviously drifting and stuff that I'm doing a lot of lately. You don't need expensive gear to shoot. I did mention an old camera set that I was going to use, one of my cheaper sets with a cheaper lens. I'm going to use it at the next event. There's one coming up in a week and a half's time. So there's an Anzac Day event coming up that I'm going to be going out to. Going to be getting a lot of shots with obviously my big equipment, but I'm going to take along my little old faithful here. I'm going to show you can get just as good photos. You can get, if you know what you're doing with the equipment, you know how to manipulate the light and work with the subjects that you've got, you can get just as good of photos. So this little beast here, EOS Digital 400D, combined with the Canon, where are we? It's going to show up on top. Canon 50mm. So this little lens is actually known as the Nifty 50. Very lovingly known as the Nifty 50. 50mm lens, EF mount, 1.8 aperture. This combination alone. So a quick look on the computer. Facebook Marketplace. I can pick up this body for about $160. The lens itself, they've got them listed on there. There's a few sort of second-hand ones listed on there for like $100-$120. You can get these on eBay brand new for like $150. So all up, you're looking sort of $300, $250, $300. If you get it as a bit of a bargain, you can probably pick one up about $250 for that little combo. As opposed to my equipment that is several thousands of dollars, my bigger pro stuff. You don't need to spend big money to do big shots. I did actually do a portrait shoot. I might, I'll see if I can, I'll dig the photo out, completely different subject to what I'm going to be shooting, but I actually used to do a series called Project 450, where I would compare my expensive stuff to basic equipment that costs no more than $450 combined to do portrait photography. Because the same thing, everyone's like, I've got to get the biggest lens, I've got to get the most expensive this and that, and expensive lighting. And between cheap strobes off eBay, this camera and this combo is actually what I shot with. Less than $450, and you can do professional looking portrait photography. You just know how to work with what you've got. I'll see if I can find that photo and I'll post it in about now. And then I'll show you some samples. I'll do the same sort of thing when I go out to the drifts in a week or so time. Obviously, I'll do my normal photography with that, but I'll also do some comparison shots between the expensive equipment and this, and show you can get just as good at images. And these days, vast majority of people are viewing, as I'm guessing you are, on your mobile phone or on smaller tablet devices. The high-res stuff, for vast majority of photographers, especially starting out, it's not needed. You're not printing and putting it up in galleries at monstrous-sized prints or anything like that. You're generally going to be, majority of your photos are going to be viewed on small mobile devices, even on web browsers, on computers. It's usually a laptop or something. And unless you've got high expensive equipment or blowing up to monstrous sizes, you can actually get away with slightly lower resolution and slightly lower detailed images, but still get away with producing amazing content and amazing photos that capture what you're trying to capture. So basic little setup. Doesn't look like much, but it is an absolute beast of everything. I've had this particular setup for goodness. I've had this. This is my first digital camera actually. So I had that way longer than my 5D that I showed you in my previous video. I've had this thing for goodness knows how many years. I actually couldn't even tell you. But this thing has been through the wars. It has been I take it pretty much everywhere with me. I take it as a spare camera just in case something goes wrong with my big one. I always have a backup to work on. But it's a good little, it's light, there's nothing to it. With a little 50mm lens on it, it's a perfect little walk around camera. Throw it over my shoulder, throw it on my strap. I can carry this around, and something goes wrong with that, I've got to change, suddenly run out of battery, or suddenly run out of memory or something in between. If there's an event going on, I don't want to obviously miss those action while I'm changing batteries on memory cards. I quickly just pull this out, keep shooting. It may not be exactly what I'm after, but I'm still going to get some really good content and some really good images of this sort of unit. So yeah, I'll take this with me. I'll show you what all about. Very, very simple. As I said, less than $400, less than $300 probably if you find a deal. Hunt around, you can find them, and you can get some bloody good images. So I'll show you the content. I'll pop a little example up, but I'll show you what this stuff looks like when I go to the next drift event. Talk to you soon.